So
Yeah.
this is an important moment, and this is where a lot of players make this mistake. So like they pick off a few of your team, right? And then people think defensively. They're like, oh, that means this tower is under threat. I need to be ready to defend. And it's like, no. What you need to do actually is your two of your team are dead. That means you guys are not team fighting anytime soon. You should not be looking
Yeah.
for a kill. So what you should do right now, while three heroes just showed here and they used a bunch of spells investing in this, you should be psycho pushing this and like split pushing this lane and everything like that. Like or not split
Yeah.
pushing, like cutting the creeps. Get them to rotate on you because the next thing
Yeah.
they're gonna want to do is walk mid and kill this tower, right? If you
Right.
can get anybody to rotate up here, you cut their it's not it's cutting your losses, it's like cutting their wins. Like they don't get as much out of that double kill. All right, guys, welcome back to Weekly Coaching. This is episode 23. Yeah, 23. Don't forget, you can check these out live every, usually Monday on my Twitch at Mr. TV. I stream every weekday, 2 p.m. PST onwards. So last week, the homework was, let me bring it up. So homework was to make your own item guides for Sand King and Beastmaster, and then start building Blink Dagger when like diving on the enemy is good. So, Dookie, what's the MMR now?
2,500.
2,500. Okay, cool. Just a steady decline during summer, like we were talking about. Don't queue rank during summer, right? Maybe we'll put that in the homework. And how did the week feel? How many games did you get in?
Let me see.
I can actually just look myself.
1, 2,
724.
3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 games.
All right. So a healthy amount of games. So what was the common trend in these ones? Just like people not knowing how to play, being toxic, stuff like that, or
Yeah, it
anything
was just like
particular you were running into?
it was a lot of like every lane losing, somebody making a dumb pick. Like let me see. Is it the first one I played? No. There was a game I played as Sand King.
Mm-hmm.
I think the second Sand King game. No. Yes? Yeah, with the sniper support. Like, he really just did not do anything with that pick. Like, doing things that don't make sense. Like, he denied a decently healthy siege creep with, like, a double wave in front of it that was walking up to the tower.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, he did a lot of damage. That's
Yeah.
good. And he made lots of stacks.
The stacks were probably the best thing he did. But yeah, like it was that, and it's like I am trying to obviously just focus on my own play. And I
Yeah.
have like felt like I've gotten a lot tighter in my like laning,
Mm.
as far as like being objective focused, like every last hit I can get, every deny I can get, and then if I can like my favorite thing to do as an efficiency thing is like harass while I'm getting a last hit. So like take hit a range creep as Beastmaster and then Wild Axe, kill the creep and harass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay.
So I have felt pretty tight on that, but it's like it's this really frustrating dynamic of like I'll initially lane really well and something will go on or my support will leave the lane before like they should by
Mhm.
any means, and then it's like now I'm either doing 2v1 or he like might have like fed a couple kills and like now it's way more even than I had it. I don't know.
So you feel like mainly it's like you're playing well, and then the support is screwing your lane up for you?
Somewhat. It's not always that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just situations where it's like the other lanes are losing and I'm like, I don't know, like should I have been rotating super early to like salvage these lanes? Because like if you look at the last Beastmaster game I played,
Yeah.
it was sort of kind of two things like that.
Mhm.
I don't think Silencer played horribly, but he kind of left at some point. I wasn't sure why, and he didn't really impact the other lanes. and the other lanes all ended up losing really hard.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, look at the score. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, so in order to answer this, we'd have to look at it case by case basis. Because, like,
Yeah.
in any one of these games, the guy could have a good reason for leaving. He could have no reason for leaving. He could have a good reason, and then it was just the wrong time to do it, or it wasn't the right, like, he didn't set the circumstances up well before he did it, or it was a little bit too late, or whatever. Like, he totally, like, analyzed that shit to death.
Yeah.
So it's never correct to just say, like, my support left lane, that's bad, right? Like,
Yeah,
some
no,
people
for
are
sure.
like that, like, don't ever leave my lane. It's just like, no, there's 3 lanes, and you're not the only character in this TV show, right?
Yeah. No, for
So
sure.
that's like, it really just depends. So, I
Yeah.
mean, we can look at this game. Did you have a game in particular you wanted to look at?
Yeah, I figured the last game because it was kind of a culmination of all the shit I've been dealing with in the other games.
All right.
And it was the game I felt most like it was this salvageable in any way. Like, should I have like rotated hard like level 6 or something like that? But I mean I end up using my level 6 like decently. I don't know. Yeah.
So should we have rotated earlier? So we'll just say maybe a general, like, why are you losing so hard, maybe?
Yeah.
And then third question you had about it?
Maybe just like reevaluating like a win condition on our back foot. Like obviously like if I play regular Beastmaster and I have a good lane,
Yeah.
you know, my win condition is grab my helm and like start fucking up the map, creating space, and then my carry farms, and we eventually like team fight together.
Okay. So is our idea of how to win with a good start correct? Basically,
Yeah.
like, if you have a
Well,
good game and then it's like is
well,
that, if I have it there or no?
more so like that's what the ideal would be.
Hmm.
But when you have to play on your back foot, these are when like obviously like item changes come into mind. Like I ended up going like Dominator
Mm-hmm.
or Overlord just because like we were so fucked. I'm like I don't even know what item to buy in this situation. But realistically, I know Overlord was not the item to buy.
Sure.
Um,
Okay.
But yeah, maybe like what strategy now that we are losing is the strategy to get us on the path to winning?
So how do we come back from behind?
Yeah,
That's a pretty
basically,
broad
like,
question,
yeah.
but okay. Yeah, we'll have a look at it. We'll try and figure it out. So, caveat, of course, some games are just not winnable.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's just, sure,
Yeah.
maybe there's a 1% chance or whatever, but, like, the odds are going to be
Yeah.
heavily stacked against you in some of these games. So,
Yeah. I'd still like to kind of think about like even theoretically, like what would be the most probable path forward, Like even if it's just like 5-man smoke and hope and pray that you catch somebody out.
okay. Well, let's go before anything even happens in this game. Let's get like an idea for how we would expect this to go.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have a Marcy mid, we have a Sven CM lane, safe. That's a pretty strong combo, but he is playing into an Underlord. So I feel like CM Sven is favored down here, but maybe is this Quap mid or is this Tusk? I think this is Tusk supposed to be down here, right? I could just do this actually. So yeah, Sven CM versus Underlord Tusk. Sven should be pretty much fine. You versus Zamuerta, I think also, and a Witch Doctor. It's double ranged, so that puts a lot of pressure on Silencer to really like do good harass and stuff there. But even if that doesn't work out, like you can still farm with axes, and you can also just farm the jungle easily. So your top lane is fine. And then the mid matchup of Quap versus Marcy, should be expecting Marcy to lose that really hard. I
Yeah.
would just assume, right? Because that's what Quap does. She's a ranged hero. She specifically shits on melee heroes, and that's kind of it. So I would be expecting bottom to go even, mid to lose, and for you to go even. So
Yeah.
immediately, just by the lane matchup, like, you're not favored already. So
Yeah.
first thing is, like, if you could have won this lane harder than you needed to, but if you can't, then it's just like you're playing for making space and stuff like that.
Right.
So let's see how it goes. I'm gonna try and focus mainly on what you're doing in relation to everything else. And not specifically what the silencer is doing.
Right.
Okay. Group scoring pretty well. You opted for the boar this time around.
Yeah.
I like.
I've been feeling that more in general. Like, even though the board doesn't do a ton, it's like, am I really getting that much more from the attack speed? I feel like I get a little bit more from board.
Yeah, so my only thing here is, we have talked about this in the past. I don't think it's worth wasting points into Inner Beast unless you already have boars, because it's an aura. It's not just attack speed on yourself.
Right.
So this spell is like double value the more creeps you have, right?
Yeah.
But in this lane in particular, boar is like absolute garbage. Because you've got
Yeah.
Witch Doctor bouncing casts, and you're against 2 ranged heroes, and also theoretically, I think Muerta could bounce her shots off the boar into you.
That was something I didn't realize, but
maybe.
yes, that did
I think
happen.
that's how that would work. I'm not sure. We'd have to
Yeah.
test that one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He's got cast, which can bounce off boar. So like, this is specifically a really bad boar lane. But like
Yeah.
you said, Inner Beast sucks, right, on its own. So what I would be doing is maxing axes, still putting points into boar, and then basically just not using it. Because it's 60 mana versus your axes are 50. So every time you cast boar, that is 1 less axes you get to cast without like buying a ton of regen. So in terms of the efficiency thing, like, that's the first thing you have to be aware of, right? Like, you're out of mana now. Like, it's kind of really bad. You need to be maintaining your mana in this lane. This would also be, I'd say, a Vanguard lane for sure. Just because this double ranged harass crap.
This'll come in handy. Radiant's middle
Yeah, I think the Arcane Boots Vanguard build would be good here. The boars aren't doing terribly. But that is, I think, mainly because this lane is actually going easier than it should be, because this Witch Doctor is sitting, like, Silencer is zoning him a little bit, but this Witch Doctor is basically AFK.
Yeah.
He really should be playing over here and just hitting you constantly. Like, he's just trading with Silencer, whatever, but like, he should be trying to trade with you.
Yeah.
He's just not doing it. So you're not really getting punished for this. Oh god, Courier. Okay. I would pull this next one. Make sure you don't miss this. Alright, got most of it. Good.
scanning.
So I'd say, like, Silencer not being here right now is fine.
Radiant's current.
Solo kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're pretty self-sufficient.
Radiant's structures are fortified.
Well, the Hawk positioning's fine.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Any questions about anything so far? Nothing really crazy's happened.
No, I mean, the only thing was like, I don't know.
Radiant's top tower.
I guess it's less of a thing. Like, Muerta's not as much of a hyper carry as like a like Medusa or a Spectre or something like that.
Mhm.
But like, I felt like Silencer leaving ended up making the lane so that, like, it did tip in their favor. Because now, like, I can't, like, no one's zoning Witch Doctor, so I can't be as aggressive as Muerta or on Muerta as I want to be. Muerta's, I feel like, getting more last hits than she would, because I can't really walk up and deny.
Sure. Well, okay, so are we talking about a specific point? Because Silencer's... I think when Silencer wasn't here, it was fine, and then this death here resulted from, like, 4 fucking heroes showing up to your lane.
Yeah.
So are you thinking of a specific point where Silencer left?
It was the time before.
Let's just...
Yeah.
Here, let's track it, and we'll watch the Silencer and see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Free camera, Silencer. Okay. Just watch on 4x speed. So that's an oops. That's the kind of death that's, like, hard to avoid, but it's kind of hard to identify, like, how you were supposed to avoid it, because they kind of just walk up and kill you. That means your hero just sucks.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to, like, focus too hard on his mistakes, obviously, because at the end of the day, like, I can't control it, you know?
No, I know, but that is kind of your question. Like, I'm feeling like that's the question you actually want to ask, is, like, is this guy ruining my game, right? Seems like.
I guess kinda, yeah.
He's focusing a lot more on not letting this Witch Doctor, like, ruin your game. So he's focusing a lot more on, like, not letting this Witch Doctor pull, like, trying to harass the Witch Doctor. He's not harassing Muerta, like, at all. The main problem is that, like, he's dying while he's doing it, right? So
yeah, it doesn't feel like he's keeping up on regen, and he's, like, committing hard to these trades that, like, don't end up well because Muerta just walks up and then finishes the fight.
Yeah. So I've been in these games a million times where I'm a support, and I'm just like, okay, they get to kill me every time I go here, and then I'm under-leveled, and now they just kill me anywhere I go, and it just sucks.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's not the, like, worst rotation as far as, like, defending mid-tower, but...
No, that's fine. But I think it's also, like, his movements sort of make sense in light of the fact that whenever he stands here and tries to help you, they just kill him.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, I can't actually help you, or at least I don't know how to. He probably could have, but he, like, didn't know how to do it. So now he's in kind of like, well, is there anything productive I can do? I'll go, like, grab, like, empty lanes and pick up runes and drop some sentries, and he's like, now he's just playing, like, position 6, basically.
Yeah.
And so these games suck to play as a support. And now it's like, okay, I'm dying under tower because I rotated here. Now he has to ask himself, like, should I even be rotating to this shit? So, like, he's not having fun right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, there's stuff he can do better. But, so a lot of the times he hasn't been here, it's because he's been dead.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep... He's died 4 times already. So, whenever you're feeling like, where's my silencer? Well, your silencer's dead. And then he's kind of roaming around the map and stuff like that. So, could he have helped you more here? Yes, but I think he would have had to have been, like, a much better support/silencer player to do it.
Yeah.
Purely because they're just killing him over and over again. Like, he's prevented all the pulls, so that's good, I guess. But also, I mean, you're kind of fine. That's the other thing, too. So, like, from his perspective, like, if you're just doing fine, you're farming and they're not killing you, you're leveling and all that stuff, you're hitting your items... And every time he shows up here to try and help you, they just kill him and not you. He's like, well, okay, if I'm not there and they're not killing him and he's farming, then I'm actually hurting his lane by showing up to it. So that's I would actually kind of be in the same boat as the silencer right now. I'd be like, why the hell did I pick silencer? And also, I can't go here anymore. They just kill me. So I'd be looking to, like, do something somewhere else. Maybe, like, bottling mid and making stacks. I think that's the 2 things I'd be doing. I'd be looking to help mid more and, like, make stacks. We're not really worried about coaching him, but like I get why he's not always here with you.
Right.
That's also an example right there of how like Witch Doctor could punish you for having boars.
Yeah.
With the stupid cast bouncing off of your boar. Uh-oh. And then she did it. She bounced off the board. So there you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can't really afford to use boars against these two.
Yeah.
Okay. So, game is already looking really bad here. We're 9k down, it's 4-19. I would mentally be telling myself, like, alright, this game's just screwed. This one's just fucked. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But, if we are trying to win it, Sven is your win condition, and Marcy needs to, like, do stuff too. So, you're the only core doing well. This could be where, basically, you guys need to organize and, like, start looking for ganks, and you need to make sure, like, you're farming as much as possible. So, like, Sven having to farm down here, like, at least he's farming, right? Like, obviously, we prefer him to be farming up here and farming this wave, but at least he's farming something. So, okay, we don't have to worry about it. Marcy's getting destroyed in mid, so this tower is going to go down. Quap's going to be a huge problem. Maybe you can afford to come here and take this lane instead, but it might just be the same thing. So, okay, we're losing bottom. We lost bot, we're losing middle. And now they're in my lane, like, killing me too. So this harkens back to the question of last time, where you're saying, like, okay, what do we do when they start camping me? Well, this is like the disaster scenario, right? Where they're camping you and the other lanes are already won or winning for them.
Yeah.
So there's not much you can do here except not let them kill you. And then you have to start playing passively. And basically you guys are just like hoping that you can organize something or somebody can hit an item timing that allows you to like get a good gank off and then swing the tempo.
Yeah.
So, and that is kind of up to your supports to like organize a smoke with you or the other core and like go kill someone. Like if you guys go and kill this Quap right now, like that's a big deal. Like if you can get that kill, because she's highest net worth, obviously, like they immediately level up, maybe get 2 levels off of it, and you get like, you know, almost 1,000 gold off this kill. I would guess. I'm not exactly sure, but you get a lot of gold off this kill. So that's like the comeback opportunity you need to look for. And your part in that is just making sure like you're ready for whatever that play is.
Yeah,
so, like,
and that's what I figured, because honestly, like, until this game became how it was, like, I was planning on this being my Blink game, because it seemed like a good one.
Yeah, I think it is. Normally, because you got the Marcy dive, you got the Sven who can also sort of dive with you like this, and you got a Muerta, right? So this would be a decent Blink game. But if you're, you know, just hemorrhaging on the way there, then it's not going to do much, right? But I don't know. And I really just think like Helm does not help you if you're losing.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It might be core on this hero, but like maybe this is a game where you don't bother with Helm. You go like Vanguard. You just try and like get tanky, and then you go Blink.
Yeah, the thing I was hoping for, I guess, with this game, after I had already bought it, obviously, like I have it, was. And you'll see me do it a little bit in this game, is I'll get the creep, and I was hoping to get, obviously, a Ancient with the Overlord, and then just send it down lanes and push them hard. It did work a little bit this game. I think I distract the Quap and get them on the other side of the map by doing that a couple times, but yeah,
that's just never. So, like, it's almost never going to just win the game for you. Like, when you're in this losing situation, it's like, oh, go split push creep. Like, it really... The enemy team has to be, like, really bad for that to be, like, actually, like, creating a win condition for you, right?
Yeah.
So, I would shelve that idea. Like, basically, you need to think of, like, Helm and... of Dominator and Helm of the Overlord is, like, we're winning, and I want to win faster.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's what the item does. It doesn't let you play from behind at all, because it's you're not even guaranteed to get a creep that's actually going to change anything. It's not like there's like a jungle creep that gives you a Ravage, right?
Yeah.
So
No, what I probably should have just done is, at this point, if I have the helm, then it is what it is. Grab Blink, and then be the organizer for
yeah,
smokings.
yeah, I think so. But I think identifying earlier, like
Yeah.
maybe we don't need a
No.
helm super fast, like in
Yeah.
going Vanguard instead would have helped you out a lot.
Yeah, it was just like I did like initially feel really good about the lane. Like I felt like I was CSing well. I was denying pretty decent. I kind of felt like I was pressing Muerta, and like, you know, Witch Doctor was getting kind of low too. So I kind of felt good about it, and I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't realize how bad the other lanes were going.
So I've noticed this a lot too in my games where we completely destroy our lane and then suddenly the game is just unwinnable and the enemy team is playing way higher tempo and killing us everywhere and we can't win a team fight and I'm like, what the fuck? Like my core was like 2k up, like we stomped this lane and it just doesn't turn into anything.
Yeah.
I think that's this patch. I think this patch is just literally like the lanes just do not matter as much as they used to.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that whoever wins the lane then gets to start rotating and winning the other lanes. And it's like those rotations, like this mid-game portion, like that's where the game's actually won. And it might be the heroes that are popular. Like some heroes that are like lane dominators, like if they do win their lanes, like maybe you can keep that going a little bit. But I feel like it's kind of like 10 minutes, lanes don't matter anymore, right? Like obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like they really kind of, it doesn't even matter anymore. It's just rotations and kills. And that's why this feels like crap, right?
Yeah.
And also, I mean, if you just look at it, like objectively, the lanes are not as important as they used to be because there's twice as much jungle to utilize and the creeps don't scale anymore. So I'm pretty sure the bounty on creeps used to go up over time, right?
Right. Yeah.
And it doesn't do it on melee creeps anymore. They're just the same gold the entire fucking game. Range creeps scale half as much as they used to. So it used to be in later patches, or earlier patches, that like creep waves were the primary farm because the creep waves were scaling as the game went on, so you were getting more and more gold doing it. And now they're like actually an afterthought except for objectives. Like jungling actually is more efficient now. So it's weird. It's a weird patch. I don't like it. But that's kind of how it goes. And that's why it's like, all right, but my creep score is great. And then everyone's just in your lane and you're dying. And it's like, well, it doesn't translate into anything. It doesn't really matter. But it's specifically on a hero like Beastmaster, who's not typically like one of those menace heroes where you show up and he insta-kills you. Like, and I'm thinking specifically of like Night Stalker, Primal Beast, you know, like Mars. These heroes where it's like you step out of position and they kill you. Every time, like no hesitation. Beastmaster's just not that type of a hero. So it's a little bit like getting a really strong lead on like a Necrophos, right? It's like, yeah, I don't want to be sitting next to him for a protracted length of time, but it's not like he instantly punishes me if I step out of position at 15 minutes, right? It's kind of just like he's ahead. That's all, you know?
Right.
So efficiency is great. Efficiency is important, but you're just not going to get the same like results from it that you would on like other types of heroes. Maybe like a Sand King or something like that, where you can just like solo kill someone every single time they show up, right?
Yeah.
So this is important. Like you want to be getting your helm creep and all that stuff. From here, you just need to. You'd even need to like buy the smoke yourself if your supports aren't doing it. But from here, you can't afford to really split push anymore. You guys have to like ball up and defend towers, and then as soon as they separate, you need to like be ready to smoke and kill them. Like in this instance, if you and CM were on top of it, you know, like smoke right now, go kill this Quap. You know, while she's half health, low mana, and 3 heroes are showing up here. Like this is an opening. It's not a big opening, but this is an opening. Like this is how you get back in the game, right? Tusk isn't here, so. You have to just be looking for those. And it sucks because the wave's pushing into you, so then you can't do it. But you just have to be ready. You just have to be ready for this to pop up whenever it does.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now is basically the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just like how it goes. I don't know, man. I don't think there's really much you could do differently here. Like, it's actually mainly Marcy getting dumpstered so hard in mid is what makes this game so hard. Because, like you said, like your lane was kind of fine. Even the Sven losing his tower doesn't really matter because it's a Sven. He just farms the jungle. But Marcy getting dumpstered is like kind of critical because this hero doesn't farm for shit. All she does is kill people, right?
Right.
So she gets behind, and that's much less of an option now. Here's another thing. As soon as you see this, like, psycho push. So this is an important moment, and this is where a lot of players make this mistake. So, like, they pick off a few of your team, right? And then people think defensively. They're like, oh, that means this tower is under threat. I need to be ready to defend. And it's like, no. What you need to do, actually, is two of your team are dead. That means you guys are not team fighting anytime soon. You should not be looking for a kill. So what you should do right now, while three heroes just showed here and they used a bunch of spells investing in this, you should be psycho pushing this and like split pushing this lane and everything like that. Like, or not split pushing, like cutting the creeps. Get them to rotate on you, because the next thing they're gonna want to do is walk mid and kill this tower, right? If you can get anybody to rotate up here, you cut their, it's cutting your losses, it's like cutting their wins. Like, they don't get as much out of that double kill. So hopefully that's what you do. Let's see. But it needs to be like fast, right? Like, okay, so we're behind. I see three. Even if you just see three enemy heroes on the other side of the map, like instantly playing more aggressive wherever you are and pushing more is like what you need to do. And even if they kill you, like, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Usually. Depends. Though if you can't do that against a Legion commander because she scales with damage, but like most other heroes, it's fine. Alright. See if there's any more tidbits here. Another mini instance of it, so like, but in the reverse, right? So back up to this part here. So you guys walk in here, get some kills. All right, great. 3 heroes are dead. We lost Silencer. What can we do now? So that's like the another thing. So as much as it's like playing from behind, it's also like, okay, we're in the process of making a comeback. Like, they just threw by letting them kill us here, right? So what can we get out of it? In this instance, I'd say Quap might just kill all 4 of you. So there's actually not much you could do. But this would be like where, if it was safe, you know, like maybe they don't have a super scaled Quap or whatever. Maybe Quap's someone that died in this fight. Instantly, you need to be going and like pressuring a lane.
Yeah, for sure.
Super important when you're behind, like, to not waste your time in the jungle if you don't have to. It's like, I want to be like getting them to rotate on their towers now. Like, we're attacking them. And obviously, like in this instance, you're all half health. Like, maybe it's not the best idea. You don't know where Quap is. That's the main thing. Like, it's actually just the Quap that's preventing you from playing more aggressively here. So I get the jungling right now. But other than that, like, I want to not be doing this. And as soon as I see Quap down here, like you're doing, good. Moving, I don't know if you're seeing this exactly. Actually, I should be checking for that kind of stuff. I should be looking at what you're looking at.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Yeah. This would be a thing, like, you see all these red heroes at the bottom lane. You need to click over there and look at it as well. See what the status is. Like, are they using important spells? Have they picked up an item I haven't noticed yet? Are they... Do any of them have TP scrolls? Because if in this instance, if you click over here and you see that all 4 of them don't have TP scrolls, or they're all like half health, or they've used all their big spells, then you know you're safe to push this. But if you don't look, you don't know. Right?
For sure.
That's also super duper important. Basically, when you're losing, it's just the same stuff. It's even more important to get it correct. It's the same stuff as when you're winning. It's like, it's just less important to like check people's items when you're winning, you know, than it is when you're losing. Because you don't want to walk up and be like, oh, that Necro has a Dagon now. I didn't realize that, and now I'm dead again.
Right.
Oh, we didn't look at the guides.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Here. I wanna see the guides you got. We gotta look at those. Can you show them to me and like share your screen? Okay. So walk me through the process on this one. Like,
So this one, I kind of, because I'm so familiar with Sand King, I made this more of a holistic kind of like overall guide, where I feel like the Beastmaster guide I made is a lot more just like simple and streamlined.
okay.
So starting items were always kind of weird for me because like that's like the thing that I kind of tailor the most. Like that changes pretty often. There's like obviously things that don't, like your tangos and your quelling blade and stuff like that, but yeah, so I did a general like early game item the build that basically almost never changes except for like raindrops. Raindrops are just kind of like an optional thing if you're like getting a lot of magic harass. Then you have your core items that you'll get every game. I was kind of like not sure about the ag shard, but the ag shard is pretty good if you can like, if you're doing well, and it can help like squeeze out that extra bit of damage, as well as it helps farming. So I did kind of feel like you should get that earlier than later.
So what I would say on that one is I would put the raindrops and the ag shard under situational, or maybe put the raindrops under the against magic thing, because specifically you're buying it against magic. Right?
Yeah.
And then the shard, if you're not sure on it, well then it's not really core, right? If it's not
Yeah,
like every single game you're like, no, I need my shard, it's super important, right? If you're like, maybe it's good, man, it's not really core. So that would be a situational thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you got your against physical stuff and your against magic stuff. All right.
And then I put kind of what the ideal, like what I would think as far as my average game where it goes well, and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to build. Kind of looks like this.
Sure. One other thing I would add in here, and I would say this for actually every single item build, I would put bots somewhere in there on literally every single hero, because sooner or later you're going to be in that game where it's ultra late game and you're like, shit, I need to buy back and buy bots and TP in there and kill the enemy ancient.
For sure.
Right? So you don't have to, but that's something I do. I put bots at the end of every build.
But it is also situationally good on Sand King, even not in that situation, because you farm and like take out waves so fast that you can kind of delay a game, or even just like amplify your game by buying that early and just like continually pushing lanes.
Yeah, it's also something you've mentioned to me in the past where you're like, oh, this is like my favorite way to play Sand King is to get bots early and start pressuring lanes, right? So I feel like it should be in here somewhere. Maybe in the ideal build or something.
This is true.
But that would also mean that you have 3 different boot types in your build. Which is fine. But yeah.
You know, he's got a lot of legs.
Yep. Okay, cool. So, and then for the skill build, you feel like this is pretty much like always like how you would do it if you could?
This is this is more the average game to me.
Yeah.
I think the ideal is like if you're playing against a melee core and you can caustic finale and just like continually threaten him with caustic finale and burrow strike and get kills. That's probably the best.
Right.
Sandstorm is the safest build because obviously like it allows you to farm against ranged heroes. It forces them to waste gold on detection. And like also like depending on your positioning, it forces them to take damage if they want to farm or come up and harass you.
Okay.
So this is kind of like the average, probably safest build that I would go, and also it works well with getting epi at 6, obviously, because you're by that time 3 levels deep into it, and that like you don't have like a release after you burrow strike an epicenter. Like Caustic Finale doesn't happen until you kill them, so Sandstorm is obviously like the next thing to like have a lot of damage on.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So there's a logic to everything. That's good. That's all. I wanted to see if there's like, like why did you pick this build, and like are there exceptions to it?
This old Ag so bad.
Yeah.
The old Ags was so good.
Well, okay. So how about the Beastmaster guide? Let's have a look at that one.
So Beastmaster was definitely a little bit more simple. I didn't add as many kind of like sections to it. Yeah, my core item build is kind of just like the ideal, like what I would normally think how a game should go. Starting items I put that way, that's kind of like ideal to me because obviously he's universal.
Yeah.
And so if you're in a lane where you're not super worried about like constantly taking harass and having to regen a bunch, having all these stats just helps you farm. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of, for the early game, obviously, like, you're not going to get Helm and then right after get Ring of Health. I kind of put that there depending on, like, does this game look so good that I can just go Helm instantly, or does this game go kind of normal and I have to get Vanguard?
Sure. Okay.
That's kind of how that's structured.
Okay.
Then yeah, you just have sort of your situational stuff. I felt pretty good about all like my situational items. Like I don't feel like I threw like, especially what we talked about last week, just throwing all the items in there. Like these all feel like they specifically work well for Beastmaster, and they're not just like kind of general items that are just like whatever good, but it doesn't really like doesn't make sense to throw in a guide,
Yeah, I would put I'd put bots in here as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely stick bots in here. And then for the skill build, you like this is the way you're gonna do Beastmaster most of the time if you have the ability to.
Yeah, for sure. These seem to make the most sense to me. Especially like I did wonder on the talent tree, but no, I think max health makes way more sense than 4 damage. 35 more boar damage.
I mean, then you just have to look at how much damage the boar does, right? Because it does, what,
Yeah.
65 max level?
Yes.
So that's quite a lot. I mean, how would we normally do this, right? We would look at how much it's gaining per level. So normally it would be 15 per level. So you're sticking 35 on there. That's like a level 6 wild boar, sort of.
Yeah.
Kinda. But yeah, I think the health is good too. I don't know. He's got some weird talents. I don't really like them.
Yeah, like none of them feel like oh, this changes how he plays.
Yeah. I am feeling like if you went with 30 damage, then attack speed, then you would want max health aura and then primal aura cooldown. And then if you go with Wild Axe's damage amp per stack, then the 15 doesn't matter. And then you'd want to go Wild Axe's cooldown on 25, maybe.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a question of like, am I going to be more of a spellcaster or more of a tanky punch man?
That makes sense.
And like synergizing that build together, right?
True.
But I mean, I don't play Beastmaster enough to say either way. I feel like 30-second primal roar cooldown is just like really good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're feeling good about this one then?
Yeah, I feel pretty decent about it.
All right.
Definitely, like, even, like, the Sand King one, I was already feeling, like, some things. Like, I do think Ag Scepter is better than I gave it credit for. It's just not what it was. So, I don't know. Yeah, it was good. The game that I ended up winning with Sand King.
Yeah.
So, but I'm kind of debating on whether it's like, is this good to get every game, or should it stick situationally?
Right. I think also you can add notes onto things too, because I noticed in other
Yeah.
builds, I wanna see how to do that real quick.
I think you can just let me see. If you go to edit,
because I know.
yeah, you click on the item and then it says enter description here.
Okay, because you can do it on abilities too, right?
Yeah.
How the hell does this
Yeah.
work?
You can do it for talent trees too, but the talent tree, I don't know, for me it looks bugged.
Ah, here it is. Okay, so if you go to, yeah, you can do it on any item. You can do it on the neutral items, and then you can do it on abilities too. So if you want to say
Yeah.
like, this is how I'm supposed to use this ability, like I want to use this to farm ancients, I want to use this to do whatever. So that might be a little extra thing to add in there too. Go in there and what the hell am I looking at? Go in there and actually add descriptions for each of the things, so you like kind of solidify your own understanding of it as well.
Yeah. No, for sure. And it's good. Like, one of my favorite things I see in guides is like listing the ways in which something is useful.
Yeah,
So, like, Burrow Strike, obviously you stun. It's also like mobility and an escape. You can use it over cliffs. All those are like really good things to know. Yeah.
Top
I
tower
think we can pretty much summarize it there. Do you have any questions about any of that so far?
No, it's straightforward,
Yeah. So should we have rotated earlier? I'd say that's like, yeah, whenever it's possible. Like if you could have like gone with a support and killed Quap specifically, or killed like the Underlord or something like that. Basically, if you could have gone and killed the two lanes that lost, or the two enemy lanes that were winning, that would have been good. I didn't see like a particular instance where it was like totally possible, but like, yes, if possible. Like, kill enemy winning lane with sports, smoke, ult. Yeah, basically. And then why are you losing so hard? Basically, mid lost really hard, bot lost, then you got camped. And it's also just the nature of your hero. Like, your hero does not present a lot of kill threat, so you are the type of hero where it's like, okay, we can just go camp him, and then his whole efficiency game like kind of just goes down the drain, right? And how do we come back from behind? It's gathering info, so checking enemy heroes constantly. Split pushing whenever enemy can't react to it immediately. And looking for pickoffs on basically anybody, but on like heroes that are worth more net worth, basically.
Right.
Digital slate, looking for pickoffs. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, every other game. Any questions about any of that?
No.
All right. Okay, so we'll put that in the next steps then. So add descriptions to abilities in your guides. And do you think it's worth doing on items as well? Or is that too much? Doing every single item is going to be...
Yeah, maybe just the core items.
Okay.
Why they're the core items.
Okay, cool. Your abilities and core items. Your guides. All right. That'll be homework. Write that up, and then I also, once you've done that, I would make another guide, and that could just be like something you do like for like another hero you play. Like what was what's another one you like? We're scratching Doom off, right? What's another offlaner that you like?
I like Darkseer.
So let's do one for Darkseer. Make full guide for Darkseer as well. And that's a decent amount of work to do, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
I guess just like how do you think how should I approach ranked right now?
I'd say avoid it. We'll add that to next steps as well. Avoid ranked during summer break.
Yeah.
So ranked is always going to be absolute ass anytime there's a battle pass going on, or it's summer break, or it's winter break. It'll just be crap because it's a lot of people playing that don't normally play when you play, right? And it's also because they've got more time, and it's also a lot of people like with the battle pass one specifically, like they have some dumbass shit where like they have to play Coddle to get their stupid, you know, tavern crawl, whatever the hell it's called, where you unlock the skins, right? They got to get that done. They have to play Coddle. They have no idea how to play Coddle, and they also refuse to not play ranked. So they're picking Coddle and throwing your game for you over and over and over again. So like, just don't play ranked that much. I mean, maybe like throw in like a game here and there, but right now, like I'm just kind of taking a break from it because I'm noticing my games are like so bad. I can't even look at my stats right now, but the last like 2 weeks of games have just been the worst freaking games ever. And I'm like, this is not because of me. It's because matchmaking sucks right now. It's actually I'm losing progress by playing, so I just don't do it. So I'm taking the time instead to go work on heroes that I'm bad at, right? So I'm like, okay, I want to learn Skywrath 4, and I want to learn Snapfire, and what was the other one? Dawnbreaker. I wanted to go learn Dawnbreaker. Like 3 heroes I'm not super comfortable on, and I played enough Skywrath games now. I'd be like, yeah, I could pick this in ranked maybe. Like, I think I get it. I think I know enough about the edge cases and like ways that I can change my build up, and like I can rush items in different ways. Like for instance with Skywrath, I'm like skipping boots and going straight to Rod of Ados sometimes, or like skipping. Actually, it worked better if I skip boots and go straight to Veil of Discord. Like that felt really good, you know. But you're not going to learn that unless you go practice hero. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not playing ranked. I'm practicing shit in unranked, and it's good. I think it's good you don't have to play the game in the same way all the time. It's not like the only way you can learn is just by playing ranked every freaking day. Like, you can go do other stuff. Like, maybe go play fucking ability draft, you know, and be like, learn about spells, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Avoid ranked during summer break. Play unranked. Practice heroes, basically. So that's my advice. Alright guys, if that was helpful, don't forget to check out the playlist at the end of the video. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I stream every weekday on Twitch at MrUpTV, 2 p.m. PST onwards, and I hope to see you there. Bye!